Good morning, Ber. How are you?
Good morning. So good. How are you?
Yeah, I'm great. Thank you. It's so nice to see you.
Yes,
Just
amazing.
been chatting about how it's been way too long since we've
Mm-hmm.
been in each other's presence, which I am so glad that we're rectifying today.
Yes, me too. Although I have been following your journey, so I know pretty much everything about you.
Because I'm like a massive, I had a friend describe me the other day to someone I hadn't met as
Yeah.
she shares everything on social media. She doesn't care what people know about her. And I'm like, actually, that stung a little bit, but it's true. There you go.
Mm.
I like to
Mm.
share as much as I can. I like to be a permission slip. There you
Mm-hmm.
go.
Yeah,
I like to inspire
100%.
women to think, you know what? That's not crazy because I see other people doing it,
Yeah,
you know?
yeah.
So, for those people who don't know Ber, and if you're following me, I'm not sure how you can't, because I often, if you have been in any of my groups or my programs, I was just saying to Ber, I tell everyone they have to join Ber's Breathwork group. And I often refer to you. So I met Ber probably, I don't know, 18 months ago now in a little container we were doing with Kezia Lee. And, I thought you were fab then. I still think you are now. So Ber is a breathwork and meditation teacher trainer. Ber has been, I don't know, how long have you been doing breathwork facilitation for? Like this
Mm.
has been your jam for how long?
Probably 6 or 7 years
For
now.
7 years. It's been a long time, hasn't it?
Mm.
And I'm going to come back to that because what I love is like you serve so many different communities, but in a nutshell, you turned a childhood trauma, a pretty significant series of events, into a six-figure business within 12 months. You were the ultimate hustler. We've just been talking about this. And now I hear you are looking to embrace a new way of merging all the parts of you and bringing forward something that's really alive for you in terms of your business and your
Mm-hmm.
being. And you've got some pretty exciting stuff going on.
Mm. Yeah.
Yeah. So I think one of the things when I first started following you, like when I'd first met you and sort of thought, okay, this girl has something, there's a vibe here that I want to be closer to, was that, you would share that you had led these big facilitations, not just in the conscious and spiritual community, but you also served like a range of really significant corporate clients as well. So talk about like, when did that happen? When did your business shift into that space, or was it always founded there? And what was like, why? Why did you step into that community and how do you maintain such a flexibility in terms of the people that you share your medicine with?
Wow. I love this question.
I want to know the answer. That's why I asked it.
I thank you so much. This is amazing. I've never been asked this question before.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay,
And it's
go.
wonderful. It is amazing and wonderful that you've asked me that, Nat, because this is a conundrum for so many in the
Yeah,
community, right? It's like, okay, I've got to show up as me and fulfill my purpose here, right? Like everyone
yeah, but
understands in
only
our
here.
community.
But only here.
Yeah. Only where it's
People
safe.
outside won't understand me. Yeah,
Mm,
yeah,
yeah, you get it.
yeah,
Yeah. I can only show up as my authentic self here, which is really demonstrating to my authentic self that you are undeserving and unworthy of attention and deep love on the outside, which then creates this resistance,
yeah,
which repels the clients that we all, those
yeah,
uh, gross generalization here, but those high paying,
yeah.
yeah, clients. And so how I created that flexibility, let's look at that. Okay. So it's really funny. It's a paradox.
Okay, I love that because I
It's
think we get
understanding.
stuck too thinking that we can only go down this one channel instead of
Yeah.
understanding that that's like everything is nuanced. There's so many different ways.
Yes, and there is no right way or wrong way. And if we decide there
Absolutely.
is a right way, we end up in a new matrices of spirituality again.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. So what the bit here is it gets to be about, well, it gets to be all about you,
Yeah.
and it's not about you at all.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
And it's holding the tension of that paradox,
Yeah.
understanding that what guides us on our mission
Mm.
is not languageable, it's not seen, it is a sensation and a feeling.
Absolutely.
It is the come from.
Absolutely.
What's going on over there?
Oh, well, because I feel like I'm like, I was talking to a girlfriend yesterday about something and I'm like really passionate about this thing, da da da, it can only be this. And then 5 minutes later, I'm like, of course, that's all bullshit too. Like it could absolutely be the other way, right? Because we know it could be. So there you go.
100%. So I do that too. I'm like, blah, 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 blah. And then I'm like, okay, and this is just a story. So
like you could choose to go this way. That's totally up to you. And I might do this. Also, I reserve the right to tomorrow to be like, no, none of that. No.
Yes.
And by lunchtime, I could be back to it. But also,
Yes. Oh, so good. And so it's exactly what you said, Nat. It's tuning into in the moment what's required of me and what is the sensation, and like letting go of, okay, this is what it should look like. So my mentor told me, this is what my mum told me.
Yeah.
And feeling the sensation in my body, being with my breath.
Yeah.
And coming so present that there is a conscious and unconscious integration.
Yeah.
And where I come from is my music. And if my music says, hey, this client who's, again, gross generalizations, who's like super corporate and in a suit and has a really serious face and doesn't understand any of the jargon of Mercury retrograde or even consciousness or the universe, it's putting myself, well, not myself, but a set of beliefs I've created to the side, feeling into the music says, okay, serve this person because you can, why not? And then, well, what do they need from me? It's all about them. Okay, they need to hear, yes, I can reduce your stress and increase your productivity.
Yeah.
Boom. And then they're in.
Amazing. Because why wouldn't you be?
Yeah.
And
why wouldn't you want to serve as many people as you possibly can with as much ease and flow, right? Why make it hard? Why put ourselves in another box?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah. I love that too, because I think often in this space of consciousness / spirituality, we get hung up on only these people will get it, which, okay, sure. But if we're saying that, there is a part of us that serves us and then serves others, right? Who needs the medicine the most? Like, who needs the medicine the most? And people who are sometimes like can't see that there is another way, then they're desperately in need of that medicine.
They're blind.
Yeah. Like, that's the biggest impact, right? You've moved away from people who are sort of on the path, walking towards a different version of the world and living, and you're back with the people who are like can't see beyond what their daily stresses and programs and fixed beliefs are, and giving them a glimpse of something behind the curtain, which is beautiful. Hope, exactly.
Yes, because they don't know what they don't know, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that's amazing. So tell me, when you talk about your listening to the music, right?
Yeah.
What is that? Share with us what that is, because a lot of people talk about it. It's like, are we getting in touch with our body? Is it feeling our energy? Is it dropping into ourselves? But I love that description. If I can hear the music, what is that for you?
Okay. All right. I'm going to tell a story because
I'd love you to. Love a good story.
Okay. So So before I got into this space, I was
Yeah.
very not spiritual. I was not vegetarian. I was,
Yep.
yeah, you've read the post. It's like I thought that people who didn't wear shoes were gross. Like, currently,
So did I. Don't worry. I was
Yes.
like the judgiest bitch in town. You
I
know,
love it.
like just like
Oh.
what do you mean? They're like, Jesus Christ, vegan leather, is that even a thing? Yeah.
Totally.
Yeah.
And it's so funny. Every time I judge someone now in the spiritual community, I'm like, yep, in 2 years, you're going to be putting period blood on your face. Yep. That's going to be you.
Yeah, me too. I'm like, so we know we're going there, right? Okay, we know we're going there. Good.
So funny.
Just exercise your resistance and judgment now. Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah.
Oh yeah. So that was me, right? So totally judge it all. And what happened? I went through this horrendous breakup, and so
Yeah.
I was engaged to be married for 7 years, first boyfriend, lost my virginity to him, and then we engaged to be married, a beautiful house, good job. And then I woke up and realized that it was all not for me. That was intense.
Yeah. So that's let's just all take a deep breath on that one. That's intense, right? Okay, fuck the life I know. Gonna walk away from this. Okay. Yeah. Right.
And it was such a catalyst for everything. But that's not even the bit. The bit here is that, so I did hear the music then, right? To do what was required, which was to leave, because, you know, he deserved someone who was for him.
Yeah.
And what I want to speak to now is that a lot of people kind of get caught up in this idea of, oh, it has to be some big, huge upheaval, chaos, purging, right? And often the first instance of catalyst of the change, the transformation is, but sometimes it's really, really subtle. And it's being so quiet and present and safe to be in my body and safe to trust and take action before there is evidence that it's going to work. It's like a breadcrumb, and being able to listen to that and complete that. And so it was really funny. After I did this huge upheaval, I was watching this talk by Warren Buffett on on YouTube.
Yeah.
And he did this little talk, and he started speaking about he's like, okay, make a list. So by this point, I've done heaps of like personal development. I've read all these books.
Yeah.
I'm listening to this talk, and I'm like, oh yeah, this is just same old stuff.
Same old stuff. Thanks, Warren. Yeah.
Yeah. And he's like, make a list of all the qualities that you admire in people. And I was like, oh, whatever, I'll just do it. And I did it.
Okay, fine. Again, we all know I'm going to be living by this list in 5 minutes' time. Okay.
And then he's like, make a list of all the people that repulse you. And I did that too. And then he was like, now look at the habits that you need to change in order to become the person that you admire. And I looked at this list, and this voice out of nowhere, like a disembodied voice, just goes, you need to give up sugar. And I instantly was like, what? No.
I don't fucking think so.
I was like, okay. What? That's the stupidest thing I've ever. No. I'm like, why? I love sugar. And like I said, I wasn't like a huge healthy eater back then. I was just like, this is dumb. Like, I'm already doing meditation, I'm doing my workouts, I'm building my business. Like, why do I need to, like, this is so random. But it was like this deep embodied feeling. That was the bit. It wasn't just a thought. Like we have these conscious thoughts. It wasn't a thought. It was a feeling that got translated into a deep disembodied voice that said, give up sugar. sugar.
It's like Darth Vader coming forward to tell you, I'm really serious about this.
I was like, you're telling me to give up sugar, you're definitely Lucifer.
I'm definitely giving you the serious voice here, okay? Could have been Samuel L. Jackson, could have been Meryl Streep,
Morgan Freeman.
Could have been Morgan Freeman, could have been all those. No, you got the Darth Vader. Yeah. Whatever that guy's name is, you know, the actor. Yeah. You got that one.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. And it was like I said, it was a sensation. If the
Yeah.
sensation was not there, I wouldn't have listened to it. But the
Yep.
sensation in my body was like an overwhelming openness, expansiveness, and yes. And so
Yeah.
I said, I guess this is happening. And so I just it's not glorious.
I laugh because, you know, like any big change I've made, none of them I've been like, woo, I'm so excited about this. You know, anything that's really been like, you know, the change that shifted things, right, has been like almost like I'm like having a tantrum. Oh, fuck it. I suppose we'll have to do this then, you know.
Yes, yes. And it's like one part of me is like, oh, I love this. And the other part is like, why? It's just
I
getting
don't want
comfortable.
to. Okay, then I suppose I am. Right. Okay, then. Well, fuck you all. All right, then.
Yes. Yeah, that's it. And so I just, yeah. And so I did it like immediately. And this is the bit
Yeah.
when you hear the music,
Yeah.
it's immediately take action. Don't wait for your thoughts to kill it, because they will, right?
Yeah.
It's like, it's irrational, this is stupid, I'll do it tomorrow, I'll do
Yeah.
it in an hour, I just got to eat my last treat, I've just got to I can't meditate for this moment right now, I'll do it tomorrow. No, don't wait, immediately
Yeah.
implement, take action, because the music is so soft and so subtle and can only be heard when we create space for it.
Absolutely.
And yeah, and that taking out sugar shifted fucking everything, because it was the last addiction in my world that had to go. And once it was gone, there was nothing in the way of me listening to my vessel. And then it was like bam, 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 mission. Okay, go to America, go to India. Nothing stands in my way. I talked to like, I don't even know how many teachers and students, interviewed like I have no idea how many people. I created spreadsheet after spreadsheet of every single client that I met. And just wrote down everything I could about them, learned how the studios ran, learned whether they made money, and learned over 13 different styles, learned from 40 different experts. And there was just nothing in my way anymore, because I was like, well, like I can hear the music so clearly now, and I just keep jumping.
That's amazing. That is amazing.
Yeah.
It's you know, like we think that we're giving up, you know, we think that we're giving up something, like I'm giving up sugar because it's really good for me, but it's not that, is it? It's it's our association to the thing, how we associate to the thing, and what that thing stops us from experiencing by the association we have to it.
Great. I'm glad you raised that, because there's probably people watching this like,
I'm not giving up sugar. She's another one of these weird, because I'm an advocate for like, there is no food that is stopped taking, with, you know, where I'm a de-weaponizer of food, right? You know, I'm like, food is not good or bad, it's just food, right? Let's just like take the charge out of that, you know.
100%. Yes. Anyone listening, this is not about guilt and shaming yourself for what you eat. This is about the come from. It's like, for you, it might be, okay, it's time to eat sugar. Maybe that's the thing, but the music will tell you, and you listen to your music.
Absolutely.
Like, I've integrated sugar back into my diet as well.
Welcome back, sugar. I'm so glad we didn't have to break up forever.
I know. Thank God. I need something to cope with this roller coaster of emotions.
You know, but that's like, you know, for me, it was alcohol. Now, I occasionally have, not that I was like a heavy drink. I mean, I was like a social drinker, right? Then I had a baby, which no drinking. Then I had, you know, breastfeeding, no drinking. Then I got cancer, so no drinking, you know. But it's just something I never went back to. And even in the times where I was like, oh, I might have, you know, 3 glasses of wine, I'm like, oh, that didn't go well. Yeah. And it completely shifts my relationship with myself. Not in the moment, but for the next 2 or 3 days. It's like, oh, wow. I'm just not myself, you know, my energy is like not as out of whack. And in the end, I'm like, okay, let's just not do this. Let's just not do this. This is just not. it's just that simple fact of like my body, which is like my wisdom, right? It just is incompatible with it right now. There's no compatibility there. Let's just leave that. Let's leave that then. And, you know, look at it like an impediment to connection to myself. You know, it's not something that brings me close to myself or my truth. So then we leave that. So, talk to me about why breath work.
Why breath work? Because it created for me emotional breakthroughs that had previously only achieved through 10 days of 10 hours of meditation straight in isolation. One 45-minute session. You don't know what that's like.
Again, I say, and why wouldn't you?
Yeah, it's. I always tell people, like, I run a breathwork teacher training.
Yes.
And one of the first bits of text they receive is a page that says breathwork is like meditation on crack.
Yeah.
It's very volatile. And it's very powerful. And so,
but it gives, you know, it's I love breathwork for so many reasons, but one of them is like, it is just the first time I experienced, right? Not with plant medicine, not with anything else, not with meditation. It was in breathwork that I was like, wow, watching a group of people be facilitated, right? And being in that experience and witnessing some stuff, but also being on my own journey and realizing post-session that no one got the same medicine. You know, it was not this like, oh yeah, we all have this experience. It was everyone got the medicine they needed in that moment that was right for their healing or growth or expansion or whatever it was. You know, the first 3 breathwork like experiences I had, mine was also like, it was like God was showing me what was possible for me. There was it was this beautiful experience. Like, I was always so excited about it. I didn't have any like huge energy shifting. It was just like I got to see what was possible for me, you know, and that was really beautiful. And then I'm going to talk about your inner child. I did a breathwork session with you on meeting my inner child, which was beautiful. And if you ever have a chance to catch a recording of this, if Ber has one, or if Ber's still doing them, I don't know if you are, then you should get this. But that was probably, and that was a different journey in itself again. There was some real grief that came up in that space, but it was a beautiful space of like really meeting my, you know, my younger self, and like having this beautiful moment of connection and safety with, you know, I don't know, maybe 8-year-old Natalie at that point, I think. It was really lovely. But that was the first time that I'd had like a real sort of like shift in emotions, you know. Otherwise it had been, what I had got was like this, what's possible for me? Oh, this really exciting, you know, energy and light filled perspective of my life, you know. So for you, what do you like? What do you see as the facilitator and the trainer and the shifts in people? Like, what's your take on what do we get? You know, do we all get what we need in that space?
Yeah, always.
Yeah.
So I'm so glad you shared your stories, because my first breath work was completely different. I hated it. You hated it. I
mean, I've been with people who are like, feel like I have been in the room with people who've had like such like huge emotional responses to things, you know. Yeah, but yeah. Sorry to interrupt you. Go.
So good. So good. I love how you lead. I feel really safe in this conversation, actually. It's really beautiful. Yeah.
Thank you.
So the first time I did breathwork, I friggin' hated it. The only reason I did it was because when I was in America, the classes were always sold out, and there's like 4 of them a day.
Yeah.
And they're like 35 people in each class. And I was like, whoa, there must be something to this.
What is this?
Yeah. What is this?
There must be something here. Yeah.
What is this magic? So I went in.
Yeah.
And I was like doing the circular breath. So do you reckon your audience knows much about?
No, I think probably a description would be great, because I know that you lead in a couple of different styles, and I've definitely done a couple of different styles of, like, facilitated breath work. Yeah.
Cool. Yeah. So breath work technically is manipulating the flow of breath to create an altered state of consciousness.
Yeah.
One similar achieved in LSD or other psychedelics.
Yeah.
And how it works is by rapidly increasing oxygen, decreasing carbon dioxide, and then because of the affinity of oxygen to CO2, it means that O2 is not released into the brain at the same rate. And then because of that, the prefrontal cortex, the thinking part of the brain, gets inhibited because it's the youngest. And so you can't think, and you can't rationalize, you can't justify, you can't plan, you can't evaluate, you can't judge.
All the things that allow us to more deeply connect to ourselves. Yes.
Yes.
Let's get rid of all that, and then we can deeply connect. Yes. Okay. Yeah.
Yes. And then you're able to drop into your emotional states and your deep unconscious intelligence, which runs your whole body, right?
Yeah.
And so in these altered states, your body has a natural activation of being an inner healer.
Yep.
For example, if you cut yourself, your body heals yourself before you've consciously become aware of it.
Yeah.
Right. And so in breath work, we go right back through the limbic system, emotional brain, into the brain stem as well. And this is where all that natural intelligence can work its magic without being resisted by the mental, all the thoughts and the thinking and rationalization. So we go into
not that. It's not there. It's here. It's
Yeah. And this is also the portal to collective consciousness, just to get super woo-woo on everyone.
Oh yeah, no, I like that. That's good.
Yeah. And so the type of things that I've seen in the community, you just would not believe. For me personally, that first session, it was like me just lying on the floor, breathing, hating life. I was like, why are we doing this? This sucks. This is really hard. Never doing it again. And then, so if anyone watching this video tries breathwork and they have the same thoughts, just know it's all part of the process.
When is this going to kick in? I have those thoughts. Oh my God, it's not going to work this time.
It's
not going to work this time. It's not going to work. Oh, hang on, I'm gone. Yeah.
Next minute, who am I?
Yeah. Next minute, Ber saying, no, you can slowly open your eyes and sit up when you feel like it. And it's an hour later. Oh, okay.
So luckily I did go back for a second class, because again, I was there to research the market and understand why is it so popular. And everything in me didn't want to go. It was like, just go to the gym, just go get dinner, like just walk home. And I was like, I'm gonna go. Laid on the floor, 15 minutes in, and I feel this piercing like crack in my heart and my chest. And I'm like like an overstrung, like a string on a guitar. I'm just like, and my whole body just started shaking, and I was crying and crying. I couldn't breathe because I was crying so much that all the snot was like pouring down my throat. I'm like it was so funny. Not at the time.
I have some PTSD around crying these days, because I'm so open to the experience of it. I'm like, fuck, am I going to choke while I'm crying this time? Like, take a breath, Natalie. Take a breath.
And like, I show you how to do that as well in my training as well. So anyone who's like freaking out, don't worry. You're not going to drown from snot.
That'd be good. Yeah. Because sometimes I have that.
Yeah. And so I was crying,
Yeah.
and my unconscious started speaking, and I started speaking it, and it was like, you couldn't save him. And it was, and it was this beautiful healing experience. A felt experience of like all that stuff stuck in my nervous system instead of just rationalizing it all away.
Yeah. Let me just look at this from another perspective again and see if I can like really resolve it. No.
Let me just sit with my feelings though and try to, okay, it's been like 10 seconds, it's taking too long. Let's just try and fix it with my brain. What can I do instead? Like, I'm just gonna eat some chocolate.
Circle back around on that one more time.
Yeah. And so like some of the shifts that I've seen, it's like it goes from the love of the bully. Yeah. Right. The bully being, you're worthy if you're kind. Yeah. You're a good person if you help others. Right. That's the love of the bully, because there's someone inside you that's like beating you up for being who you are. And then there's the love of the prostitute, which is like the love of the spiritual community gets called in this one. Yeah. Of like, I'm going to feel all my feelings and that'll be enough. Right? No. It's still the prostitute, because it's still trading. It's like, if I feel then I'm good enough. No. Yeah. And the biggest shift I've seen is like going into true unconditional love. Yeah. It's like, I don't feel to heal. I don't feel to get somewhere. I simply feel because of feeling's sake, because feeling is coming into tune with my music, and operating from that place is the only thing that matters. Yep. And no matter how it's received, I unconditionally love it. Yep. Yeah. Being able to go back to that place, it just softens and changes, and it makes everything easier instead of having to struggle to get to the next level of consciousness or awakening. Yeah. If I do this, I will get this. Yes. If I do this, I will get this. Yeah. Also orgasms. So good. Oh yeah. Yeah. Real thing. Yeah. Okay. That could be new marketing, right? I think so. Come and learn how to do this, and then you can share great orgasms with the world. Maybe that's what people need. I think it's like the answer. Maybe it should be like orgasmic breath work, because then you can be like, listen, just going to share with you what's possible here. I think that's the answer to all of Earth's problems, really. Like, I agree. We should just better orgasms. Let's just, let's schedule in a bit of like emotional. I mean, I do now. I do schedule in, like, if I'm feeling a bit angsty, I'm like, oh, it might be time to do an anger release, Yeah. And I'll put on some music and I'll get the cushions out and I'll go there. Yeah. Yes. Like, okay, maybe we'll get to this. I just feel like there's this well, and I'm like, well, we might get this well down a little bit today. It's just like, accept that this is part of the journey. Maybe this well will come down a little bit today. That's cool. We'll feel a little freer. It's all good. Yeah. Do those things. So talk to me about why training people to facilitate. What's the vision? Ooh. Okay, so the vision is 1 million people unlocked from anxiety and depression through collapsing authenticity with breath as medicine, which allows self-fulfillment and self-expression. Beautiful. As the new norm. And it's easy. Now, it's so easy. I know. That's what is so beautiful. Yeah. Like, I thought for ages, I got disconnected from the vision a while ago, because I was like, it's too hard. I don't know how to do it. And then I started training teachers, and I was like, are you kidding me? This is easy. This is how you do it. Yeah. Like, do you know what the point of critical mass for the earth is, for a new idea to take hold and sustain itself? No, tell me. I'd love to know. Okay, it's 5%. Okay, 5% of 7.9 billion is 395 million, which is the population of the US and Australia. Okay. And we shift that many people. That's not that much. That's not that much. Yeah. We shift that, and then all we need to do as facilitators, coaches, light workers, is literally sit back and watch evil undo itself.
Yeah. I love how you moved your chair back then. That was really impactful. It's great. That was great. It was like, then we're just going to do this thing. So good. So good. And see, I love that. Like, it's like we don't need our mind to understand the mission, but I don't know about you, but I can visualize like a map with America on it, 395 million, however many, and then a map of Australia with like, what are we, 26 point something million now? And I'm like, okay, that's achievable. Let's just concentrate it in 2 countries. So even if you had to shift some of that to like Europe or, like some maybe India, there might be a big, they've probably got people already super awakened there anyway.
Oh yeah.
And maybe a few other places, that's achievable, right?
Yeah, like so easy.
Yeah.
And so so that's why I targeted like people who want to make a difference, because it just amplifies the difference that I want to make.
Yeah. It's I'm just having like, okay, that's not that much. That's not that much.
It's so not. It's nearly there. We're nearly there.
Yeah. So if people want to train with you, talk about what that looks like. Like, what does this look like?
Oh, beautiful. Yeah. So it's about, my training is about collapsing authenticity with breath.
Yeah.
So I've done a lot of trainings.
Yes.
I'm certified in NLP, hypnosis, timeline therapy.
Yep.
I've done 2 yoga trainings that I also didn't complete, FYI.
Yeah.
I've done a breathwork training and I'm left halfway through.
2 yoga trainings I didn't complete, people. Yeah. Okay, well, I'm just putting a mark against your name. Looking so good, didn't complete the yoga trainings. Okay.
Cross, not spiritual.
Cross, not you. Sorry. You're really going to have to do that period blood sooner rather than later. Okay. Just saying.
Okay, yeah.
Just had a shift in the audience there, Ber.
I know. I'll bring them back. I did sound therapy and Reiki as well. There we go. Finish those. Okay. So,
okay, good. Yeah.
So the point of me listing off all my certifications
is to get to the end. And then I recover here with these ones. Okay.
So that you can trust me, even though I say really crazy things. So the difference between my training and a lot of the trainings I've completed, some of those were awesome, but some of them taught me a very specific way to just do something.
Yeah.
Just do it, right? And my training is about adopting your way of being. It's about clearing all your shit out of the way. So in facilitation, you know this, Nat, and many of the listeners will. It's like, if I have a lot of shit over how I see myself, it's over my eyes, and then I look at the world and other people, and all I see is my shit all over everybody else, right? And my training is about, we go deep into the energetics and we just shift all that shit out of the way.
Yeah, beautiful.
Your truth.
Yeah.
And you can come into alignment with collective consciousness.
Yeah.
And consciousness and yourself become one. And you can lead from a place of, I don't need to know the right, perfect thing to say, do. I know my being, and I follow and trust that again and again until I've cultivated a level of confidence that comes from experience, from trusting who I am, not from trusting some external structure, which I do still provide, right, as a bridge. But my training is about you be you, and then you use breath as a vehicle to create rapid transformation for everybody else.
Which it does, right? But I think until you experience or start to really dip into the world, because there are a lot of different breathwork facilitators too. Like I've done, until I did a breathwork session with you, it had been that real Wim Hof style of like real rapid circular breath, which I liked. It's not that I didn't like it, but I did like yours more. Just saying, I did like your style more.
Oh my God.
It's really lovely, It's nice and easy. I did not have that moment of like every other time being like, oh, fuck, this isn't going to work today. you know, with yours. I was like, oh yeah, look, you know, it's all good. She's got a beautiful playlist anyway, if it doesn't work. And I love the sound of her voice. Yeah.
Yes. Oh,
You
yeah, no,
know,
that's the
so
thing
so
though.
pleasant from the moment you walk in the door, really. That's the thing.
Well, it's funny. I did used to do that kind of hardcore masculine
Yeah.
breathwork style, like the Wim Hof.
Yeah.
And I did a little bit of training with the holotropic style by Stan Grof.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that's like 3 hours of hardcore breathing. And I just hacked it all. And I was like, it doesn't need to be this difficult.
Yeah.
It's actually like the difficulty is sometimes, not all the time,
Yeah.
is sometimes a trick. So if you have a mindset where something's not worth doing unless it's difficult,
Yeah. You're gonna love that.
you're gonna love that.
Yeah. You're gonna love that. I think
Ooh.
maybe when I'd started, I had that whole like, well, you know, I mean, anyone who's heard me talk about my cancer journey, I'm like, I am the person who, you know, on the edge of like death was like, oh, I just thought this was going to be harder, you know. It's like, this isn't hard enough for me to be real. Okay.
Oh,
Yeah, I was
yeah.
that person, but maybe I
Mm.
was still very much in that space of like, it's got anything worthwhile is like, you know, gotta hustle and work hard for.
Yes.
And now I'm like, yeah, fuck that. No, thanks. There's like really easeful ways to tap
Yes.
into things now.
Yes.
So we touched on that when we first jumped on for a quick chat. So talk to me about, this has been a big shift for you, right? From hustle to ease and flow. And I loved how you framed up the relationship between the two. Let's talk about that. What's going on for you in that space?
Amazing. So when I first stepped into this space, it was
Yeah.
all about hustle.
Yeah.
And it gave me extraordinary results. That's how I built that 12 six-figure business in 12 months, right? It was like, and this is the thing, there I was so lit up and so activated. I wanted to do it. And what I wanted to do was like 7 days a week, probably a minimum of 12 hours, maybe 18, right? And maybe once a month I'd take a day off or something.
Yeah.
Because I was just like, I cannot stop. There is a force inside me.
Yeah.
And it's like, and it's choiceless. I have to.
Yeah.
I need to do this, right? Like this hectic energy.
Yeah.
And I followed it and I hustled and hustled and hustled. And I built everything super fast. And the cost of that was my health and emotional well-being. That was a huge cost. Okay. So by no means am I telling you to now go do 12
to go do this thing.
Your music, listen to your music.
Listen to your music. However, I did love how you talked about the relationship between these two states.
Yes. And now I work probably like, I have 2 days of client facing, and I have 3 days. Sometimes it's the other way around. 3 days of just working on legacy, like building out the content, the marketing. That means that it will have sustainability and longevity. And then I also have 2 days, at least one day where I have no screen. I try to do 2, but sometimes I'm naughty.
You know.
And I also don't have nothing on until 10 o'clock, like nothing except meditation, exercise, my goals, and that's it. And it's just so much easier, and I'm making way more money. So funny. Okay, and this is the bit. This is what I found in the coaching space and in the community, and I'm still formulating this theory. But what I've seen is that if you don't know how to hustle for what you love, transcending into being love. I haven't seen anyone do it. Right? It's like there are certain levels of consciousness for each of us, and they're not better or worse, right?
No.
It's like a map or a dance floor.
And
people will find themselves being coached by someone who says, it's just, you've just got to surrender and let go and let it come to you. And that person's like, okay, but I'm about to be evicted, and I'm scared my kids are going to live on the streets, and and I have no confidence.
You can't need money. And it's like, yeah, well, some people in their journey are in the need money space. That's okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
And it's like, and if I try and push that away, then I'm actually pushing away myself, my love of myself. My if your body is freaking out and telling you, hey dude, we need money because we need to survive and feed our children.
Yeah.
Like that is your deepest like knowings and wisdom saying, like,
but this is, we got to do this.
I want to create safety.
Yeah. We got to do this, guys. Yeah, I love you, and this is what we need right
listening? Now. Yeah. And having the confidence to go and follow your dreams and take the action with and be unstoppable is your superpower. And why would you push that superpower down and away?
Yeah.
Right. But there's this thing. It's like, again, I am yet to meet a coach who is successful, who has not at some point gone through a huge hustle phase, followed by something mimicking or similar to depression, right? And I'm not saying that anyone needs to go, like you don't need to go through the depression, but the hustle phase is really important so that you can understand, oh snap, like I can have an impact. I can create change. I'm the architect of reality. Look at all this value. And then it's like, cool, okay, now how do I alchemize that into way less time, energy, and effort?
Yeah.
Without going through the depression phase.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's interesting, isn't it, what you say? It's like rejecting a part of yourself, because if that is like, that's our energy, that's our essence saying to us, this is what you need to do right now. And so on the flip side of that, it's like, we reject no parts of ourselves except for that.
Yeah.
You've got to reject that bit, okay? Not that bit. And all these bits, instead of being like, listen, you just get to be all of it, right? Yeah. Sometimes my conscious level's up here, and then other days I'm like, fuck this. Why isn't that person giving me what I want? Okay.
Yeah.
Not ideal, but also part of the journey.
Yeah. Learning to love all parts.
Yeah.
And channel them. Like my coach, my mentor says that he's like, you can try and shift or change something within you, an old coping mechanism, strategy, a system of safety. And he's like, and bless you, and you'll probably need to go through like 12 different processes where you just bawl your eyes out for like a year. He's like, or can relate, or he's like, just leverage the strategy that you have, something creative that raises you up, that makes you feel good. It's like, one of the things I have is I love adrenaline and that feeling of like, I think I'm going to die. I fucking love that feeling. Yeah. So I love to like channel that into like really scary, risky business pursuits because, because otherwise
I love it.
It goes and creates all kinds of internal mayhem. It's like, Yeah.
It's a bit of you. It's that reshaping your relationship to it, right? It's again, what's my relationship to this part of myself? That's why I created a podcast. I love talking. I have like in my human design, I have an open, like a direct line from my sacral to my throat chakra. My thing is to speak it into existence, right? So I'm like, yeah, I know. All my friends, I'm like, I know. And now I'm not rejecting that part of myself anymore. I like talking. You better get on board, bitches, or I'm going to find someone else. That's just how it is, But it is like, it's like reshaping our relationship to it. My whole life had been told Natalie would be, school reports were like, Natalie would be so much more focused if she didn't talk so much in class. Natalie would be, I remember my first serious boyfriend looked at me on the first night we met and he said, do you ever shut up? Because I had just been like this, And I said to him, I like talking. You better get used to it. 4 years later, we were still together, it was this part of myself that I'd like rejected for a long time. Don't talk so much, Nelly. No one wants to hear what you know. Now I'm like, no, I'm talking all the time. All the time.
Yes.
It's a medicine for me and hopefully for other people.
100%. I feel like the flow between us is because you talk. So I'm a secret introvert. I actually don't like talking. I'm really hoping that coronavirus is going to cancel my birthday party, which is coming up later in about 2 weeks. I'm serious. So funny. That's obviously why I feel so safe with you, because you're just like talking. I'm like, oh.
Yeah, but don't worry, it's not to everyone either, right? I'm not the biggest thing that I've loved about COVID has been, can you stay 1.5 meters away from me, please? I've loved the social distancing. I'm like, how can you not be on top of me? You know, feel like I've got a bit of a sensory thing there. I'm like, oh, I just like this space to be mine. I can breathe, you know, it's like I can be me here. Can you move back? Yeah.
Yeah.
I also like talking with people I find interesting too, you know. It's quite like really self-serving, if I'm really honest.
Yes.
Like, oh yeah, I love talking to her. Sure. I'd love to do a podcast with her. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. It's interesting. You find out so much about people.
Yeah.
Create a space for people, and hopefully like a lot lands for people on the other end of it, right? You know, that's the thing. Share all these different ways of thinking and being, and different ways of getting a message and a mission out. And, you know, at the end of the day, I just want everyone to be happy and fulfilled. You know, how do we do that? How do we do that? Yeah. How is it safe for enough people to step into the space of, you know, feeling safe to create happiness and fulfillment for themselves, true happiness and fulfillment for themselves? Okay, looking at the time, and I'm thinking I have one more question for you. Biggest, wildest bird dream. What is it?
Oh, biggest, wildest bird dream. God, I love your questions. Okay, biggest, wildest bird dream. Is to create a platform for all of my friends.
Yeah.
To have their medicine heard, seen, and felt.
Nice.
Yes, it is like this crazy dream I have every time I meet a new coach, because obviously all my clients are coaches, light workers, healers. All my friends are coaches, light workers, healers. And I'm like, oh my God, I'm like in an X-Men movie.
Yeah.
And I'm like, and I see like some of them are just so gifted and talented, but they're not visible.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep.
You've seen it. And I think to myself, like, I just want to bring all of my friends together and form this elite force for good and love.
The ultimate squad.
The ultimate squad, yes. And put it online and have physical locations around the world too.
Yeah,
right,
nice.
That's a heart dream of mine, like to have meditation centers.
Nice.
And have all of the magic accessible to everybody in every language. If we can, and I don't see how we couldn't do that, really. Like if I can.
Digital age, baby. Technology is a wonderful thing.
Yes, and there's things called projectors now. I can project stuff onto the wall.
I know, right?
Yeah. So that was and it's been on my heart since I started, actually. That was my first dream was build a meditation studio. And then when I realized, I went to America and I was like, oh man, these don't make money. Then I was like, okay, we need something that is scalable, contains yes, can reach everybody, doesn't cost a lot of money.
Love it.
There's just so many gifts in our community, aren't there?
Yeah, absolutely. So you know, I often get accused of my business being like the crying baby. Oh my God, would you put that baby down? I'm like, no.
What do you mean?
But because I'm very, very focused on, you know.
Yes.
But it's not because of a desire to like, make money, make impact. It's like, I genuinely love this work. I genuinely love it. And I love the community I'm surrounded by, and, the gifts that like all these amazing people who are in my community have. I genuinely love it. It's like there's not a day goes by where I don't see or hear something written or spoken by someone I know, and it doesn't shift something in me. And I love that. I'm here for this. Like, how much more of this can I become?
Yeah.
Like, how much more? Okay. What else is open to, like, shift around here? If this is good, it can become great. If it's great, it can become amazing. If it's amazing, it can become, out of this world. Like, how much more?
Yeah.
That's what I think. That's my thing.
Yeah.
I think we are surrounded by an amazing community. Absolutely amazing community.
Yes.
Okay, so if you could leave people with one thing today, what would it be? Anything. Absolutely anything.
It's that it takes tremendous courage to forgive yourself for everything you've ever done and ever will do.
Yeah.
People have died because they wouldn't forgive themselves from illness, from suicide.
Mm.
When you have the courage to forgive yourself.
Yeah.
You make it okay for everyone else to as well, even if they don't understand.
Mm.
And when you do that, you shift the fabric of the world.
Because it only takes us, right? It only takes us. It only takes us to do that.
Literally. So easy.
Yeah.
Well, so simple, not easy.
Yeah. But it can be.
But it can be.
That's the thing, right?
Yeah.
It can be when you surround yourself with the right people.
Yes. Association. Yes.
It can be.
Yes.
Yeah.
Can I give them two kind of like technical things as well?
Absolutely.
Okay, cool. So the first one is breathwork doesn't need to be hard. You don't need to go on a big journey.
Yep.
One of the most powerful techniques that I ever learned and still learn today is to breathe in through the nose for 4, fill up the belly, and breathe out through the mouth for 6.
Love it.
So simple.
Good.
That people think that it doesn't work. Trust me. Do it consistently for 3 weeks and you will notice a shift in the way you respond to reality.
Love it.
Uh-huh.
Love
and
it.
number two is what you just raised. Association is everything. Everything. Yeah. Who you and a lot of people think, okay, cool, I've got to go ditch my friends, they suck, they're toxic, my partner's lame, I've got to like remove myself. It's not how it works.
No.
You just continue to be more and more of yourself so that people fall away.
Yeah.
And your friends can find you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's it. That's exactly it. Some things become, the more yourself you become, the more untenable and uninhabitable you realize certain spaces are, and then other people show you exactly.
Yeah. It's like that story you said about the wine.
Yes.
Like you drink it and then your body tells you and you're like, oh, okay, now it's not for me. Yeah.
Yeah. This is not for me. Okay. Yeah. And I think the easiest way of knowing, I mean, that's not true either. Some things falling away are really painful. And then some things falling away are just like literally like, I'm just not a space for this anymore.
Yeah.
As
And it's
easy as
like,
that. Yeah.
and sometimes it's like waiting, and then it's like, oh, it's gone. And that was easy.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly. Oh,
Mm.
okay. Cool.
Yeah, yeah.
Right. Okay. Well, that was, yeah. Okay. Yeah, that was easy.
Yeah. Should I go and make it hard though?
Yeah, I should, shouldn't I? 'Cause I'm probably still carrying that with
Yeah, 'cause
me.
otherwise it's not meaningful.
Yeah, nothing worth having is not worth, I suppose my thing that I love the most about what you do and how you show up is that you're just this real, like, real, live, living, breathing energy, sharing, just, is it, I don't want to say permission slip, just being for like, there is something so utterly possible for you in the world that is so far from everything you think is for you right now. But it's utterly possible and so close. It's like 2 degrees. You don't have to shift far.
Yeah.
You don't have to shift far and then you're there.
Yeah. I love that you said that. That's how I see the world. Every time
Yeah.
I meet a new obstacle, I'm like, sweet. All right, how am I going to alchemize this to make my
Yeah.
life even better?
Yeah.
And I do. And then I'm like this next level coach all of a sudden. I'm like, what? How did that happen? This is amazing.
Because it just did.
Yeah, because I saw the pain, and then
Yeah.
and I turned towards it.
Beautiful.
Thank you so much. That was such a beautiful thing to say.
Thank you. Thank you for
Yeah.
coming and talking with me today. It's been
You're welcome.
super
Thank you for having me
cool.
on.
Is there anything
Yes.
else you want to add? Oh, I do just want to say, like, what have you got going at the moment? I just love to know for people to be actually able to visualize like what it's like. What have you got going at the moment? What do you want people to know about the work you're doing?
Amazing. I have a breathwork facilitator training starting in January next year, all
Ooh.
online.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
And
right.
so
That's not far off. Good Christmas present for someone, hint, hint, if my family are listening, you can put it on the list. Yeah.
Yeah.
That on the list. Yeah.
Yeah. So I've got that coming up, and I've also got my breathwork group. So
Yeah.
I don't run the free live classes anymore, but every 2 weeks, one of the old replays gets dropped, and that's accessible for free for a week. So
beautiful.
There's that option. There's also a portal that I have,
Yeah.
which is $50 a month, and it's a rotation of 10 different classes.
Beautiful.
Yeah, plus some daily practices as well. So
beautiful.
That's more for supporting a journey that you're kind of wanting to do personally for yourself. And the breathwork facilitator training is for a personal and professional journey.
Okay. Amazing. And so I will drop the links to all of this when I publish the podcast anyway, so you will know how to get in touch with Ber. But it's always great to hear you describe what's going on in your world.
Yes.
And what you have and ways in which people can access your medicine.
Yes. Oh, yes. I'll add as well that I welcome lurkers. So if you're like, I don't want to try her stuff because she's weird, just lurk on my page. Don't comment, don't like. And then when you
just
realize, when you realize that I may be crazy, but I understand how to create possibility, then you contact me.
The time will be right.
Yeah.
Oh, thank you so much, Ber.
Thank
It's been such a pleasure to have you on.
Yeah, it's so good. Ordinarily, I'm like, oh, I'm just going to put aside an hour. But I was like, I'm really enjoying this. Like, let's just go.